You see, life has a strange and merciless way of showing you what you do not want to face. Nobody is coming. Nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is coming to live your life for you. Nobody will rise from their bed in the morning and carry your pain, your hunger, your longing, your dreams inside their chest. And yet, we wait. We wait as if someone else is meant to arrive, carrying the key to our freedom, carrying the answers to our questions, carrying the comfort to our wounds. We wait for the call, for the message, for the hand on our shoulder that says, "It's okay, I'll walk this road for you." But that call does not come. That hand does not reach. The world is not silent because it hates you. The world is silent because everyone else is just as occupied with their own unseen storms. Each human being you pass by behind their smiles, behind their words, behind their practice masks is fighting a battle you will never completely understand. Their fears scream inside them. Their doubts crush them. Their hearts ache for things you cannot see. And so they cannot carry your weight, for their arms are already breaking under their own. If you continue to wait, your life becomes nothing more than waiting. Waiting for love, waiting for recognition, waiting for justice, waiting for the world to notice your suffering. And one day, perhaps too late, you realize the cruelest truth of all. No one else was ever going to do it for you. But my friend, listen carefully. This truth is not your curse. It is your freedom. It means the chains you thought were binding you were never locked. It means the door you thought was shut was always open. It means that life was never meant to be handed to you. It was meant to be taken. Yes, it hurts. At first, it feels like loneliness, like abandonment. But slowly, it transforms. The weight shifts. What once felt like isolation begins to feel like clarity. What once felt like despair begins to feel like power. For now you see, the responsibility was always yours, and so was the power. You do not need a savior. You need courage. You do not need permission. You need will. You do not need someone to walk for you. You need to take the first step. Life will not stop for you to prepare. It will not wait for you to feel ready. It will not rearrange itself so that the path is soft and clear. No. Life is wild. It is brutal. It is unpredictable. But it is also yours. Every heartbeat, every breath, every second slipping through your fingers belongs to you. And when you finally grasp this truth, when you finally rise and say, "No one else will do it, so I must," a shift happens. A fire lights within you. You stop waiting. You stop begging. You stop expecting. You begin to act, to create, to carve your place in the chaos. You may stumble. You may fail. You may bleed. But at least the path is yours. At least the scars are yours. At least the victories, when they come, belong to you entirely, not because someone gave them, but because you fought for them, tooth and nail, against the silence of the world. And that, my friend, is where true freedom lies. Not in being rescued, not in being carried, but in standing tall, alone if you must, and declaring, "This is my life, my burden, my journey, my destiny, and though no one else will do it for me, I will." Think of how often you hesitate because you imagine an audience. You freeze, you shrink, you hold back not because the path is impossible, but because you believe someone is watching. You hear the whispers in your head. What if they laugh? What if they mock me? What if I fail and they see it? But here's the unspoken truth. Most people are not watching you. Most people are too tangled in their own chaos, too consumed by their own insecurities, too trapped in the endless noise of their own minds to truly care about yours. You imagine they are scoring your performance, as if life were a stage and they were the critics in the audience. But there are no critics. There is no audience. There is only you and the choices you make in the silence. You believe people care deeply about your failures, but tomorrow they will forget. They have no time to remember your mistakes because they are busy hiding their own. You think they are obsessed with your flaws, but they are too busy staring at the cracks in their own reflection. The harsh truth is this: everyone is the center of their own story, and you are only a passing character in theirs. Their judgments, their whispers, their opinions, they vanish as quickly as they appear. And so, the illusion of waiting must end. Waiting for validation, waiting for approval, waiting for someone to tell you that you are ready, that you are enough, that the path is safe. But waiting for validation is like waiting for a train at a station where no train will ever arrive. You stand there with your suitcase in hand, heart pounding, excuses rehearsed, watching the clock tick by. The platform is empty. The air is still. The rails are silent. And the longer you wait, the more you realize the train was never coming. It was never scheduled. It was never real. So the question becomes inevitable, unshakable. Will you keep waiting, or will you move? Will you spend your life sitting on that platform, staring down the tracks, growing older, weaker, heavier with regret? Or will you step off the platform, walk onto the rails, and carve your own way through the wilderness? Yes, it is frightening. Yes, it feels dangerous. But there is no other way. There is no train, no savior, no audience. There is only you and the courage to move when no one claps, to act when no one watches, to rise when no one believes. That is the path of freedom. That is the path of life. Loneliness frightens people because it feels like emptiness. It feels like a hollow room with no voices, no echoes, no comfort, a space where your thoughts grow louder than you can bear. Most people run from it. They run to noise, to crowds, to endless distractions. They run to anything that spares them from being left alone with themselves. But in truth, loneliness is not emptiness. Loneliness is the moment you finally face yourself without distraction. It is the moment the mirror clears and you see the face behind the masks you wear for others. You see, nobody can truly care for you in the exact way you long for. Nobody can crawl inside your chest and feel the rhythm of your heart. Nobody can live inside your skin, hear the storm of your thoughts, or understand every secret corner of your soul. Because the world is not one mind, it is billions. Billions of centers of consciousness, each wrapped in its own mystery, each locked inside its own universe of joys and wounds. And that is why you must understand. Your eyes are the only eyes through which you will ever see. Your soul is the only home you will ever fully inhabit. Others may walk beside you, but no one can walk inside you. So loneliness is not abandonment. It is not the world turning its back on you. It is the simple unveiling of reality, the whisper of truth that says, stop expecting someone else to fill the silence. Stop begging for another song. This silence belongs to you. Fill it with your own. And when you finally do, when you dare to sing into that silence with your own voice, something remarkable happens. The silence shifts. It is no longer heavy. It is no longer an enemy. It becomes alive. It becomes vast. It becomes your companion, your sanctuary, your proving ground. What once felt like isolation now feels like freedom. What once felt like emptiness now feels like possibility. And you discover that loneliness was never a punishment. It was an invitation to meet yourself, to befriend yourself, to stand whole without needing the constant company of others to remind you that you exist. This is the paradox. When you embrace loneliness, you are never truly alone. Because in that quiet space, you find the one presence that was always waiting for you yourself. There is a strange paradox in life. The moment you stop asking others to care is the very moment you become free. As long as you beg for someone's approval, as long as you wait for someone's recognition, as long as you carry the secret hope that another will step in and carry your weight for you, you are chained. You are chained not by the world itself, but by your own expectation that the world owes you something. But when that expectation breaks, when you finally whisper to yourself, "No one is coming. No one is meant to do this for me," a new kind of strength rises inside you. Responsibility is no longer punishment. It is not a burden crushing your back. Responsibility is liberation. For if you are the one who must do it, then you are also the one who can. Think of a bird. It does not fly because other birds cheer for it. It does not spread its wings only when the sky offers applause. No, the bird flies because it must. Because its wings ache to stretch. Because its nature is not to crawl, but to rise. Even if the sky is empty, even if no eye watches, even if no voice praises, the bird flies. And so too, you must rise. You must stretch your wings, not for applause, not for attention, not for the fleeting comfort of recognition, but because life itself is calling you upward, because your very nature demands it. Because to refuse your flight is to betray yourself. Understand this. Responsibility is not a cage. It is the key that unlocks the door. It is the fire that burns away the illusions. It is the moment you stand tall and say, "Yes, it's mine. This pain, this struggle, this hunger, this dream, it is mine, and I will not wait for permission to live it." And when you do this, when you take full ownership, the world changes shape around you. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances, and you begin to see yourself as their master. The winds that once pushed you down become the winds that lift you higher. The silence that once frightened you becomes the silence in which you hear your truest voice. Freedom is not found in being carried. Freedom is found in carrying yourself. Freedom is the knowledge that though the world may not always support you, you do not need it to. Because you are strong enough to rise without their applause, to walk without their guidance, to live without their permission. This is the paradox. What felt like burden is actually power. What felt like weight is actually wings. And once you claim it, you will never again look to the sky in envy of another's flight. Because you will already be soaring. Life is not a neatly organized stage play. It is not a script where every line is written, every scene rehearsed, every outcome guaranteed. Life is wild. Life is unpredictable. Life is often merciless. And yet, it is precisely this chaos that makes it beautiful. For what is beauty without uncertainty? What is growth without struggle? What is joy without the risk of loss? When you stop begging the world to care for you, something changes. When you stop crying out for someone else to rescue you, to hold you, to fix the storms in your sky, you discover a strange freedom. You learn not to control the storm, but to dance with it. You learn to laugh in the rain, even as thunder cracks above you. You learn to cry when the weight becomes unbearable, but you do not stay down. You rise again, fiercer, sharper, more alive than before, because perfection is an illusion. There is no perfect path, no perfect moment, no perfect life. The search for perfection is a prison that keeps you waiting, hesitating, chained to impossible standards. And control? Control is a myth. The river of existence flows where it will no man can command it. No hand can stop it. What you truly have is not control over the storm, but power within it. You have the ability to act, to move, to choose, even in the middle of madness, even when the world is on fire. You still hold the one unshakable freedom to decide how you will respond. So you dance. Not because the ground is steady, but because your spirit is. You dance, not for the audience, not for their fleeting applause, not for the shallow echo of their cheers, but because the music is playing and you are alive enough to hear it. And that music, the music of existence, the rhythm of your own heartbeat, the song of being alive, even in suffering, is the most precious gift you will ever hold. So let the world stay chaotic. Let it remain wild. Let it be merciless if it must. You do not need a perfect script. You do not need the illusion of control. You only need the courage to step into the dance, to move while you still can, to live while the music still plays. Because one day, the music will stop, and when it does, may you leave the stage with no regret, knowing you danced not for them, not for approval, not for applause, but because life itself asked you to rise and move, and you said yes. Death has a way of clarifying things. It strips away the noise, the excuses, the endless delays, and leaves only truth. Go to the graveyard and see how silent it is. The grass grows over forgotten names. The wind moves through rows of stone. The air is heavy, with a silence that no applause can break, no excuses can delay, no dreams can resurrect. Here lies all the waiting. Here lies all the hesitation. Here lies every "someday I'll do it" that never came. The earth has swallowed them. The ambitions left unfinished. The words never spoken. The love never confessed. The courage never taken. Buried dust to dust, bones to silence. And in that silence, death whispers. It leans close to your ear and says, "Your time is short. Do not waste it waiting for others to care. Do not waste it waiting for permission. Do not waste it rehearsing for an audience that is not watching." One day, the curtain will fall. The stage will go dark. The lights will fade. And the crowd you thought was watching, judging, measuring, you will be gone. No claps, no boos, only silence. And in that silence, only one question will matter. Did you live? Did you rise when fear told you to stay small? Did you speak when silence tempted you? Did you dare when the world mocked you? Did you dance while the music played? Or did you keep waiting for a perfect moment that never came? This is why you must do it for you. Not for their applause, not for their acceptance, not for their love, for you. Not tomorrow, not later, not someday. Because someday is the lie death loves most. Someday is the word written on the gravestones of the unfulfilled. Do it now, live now, speak now, move now. Because the only thing guaranteed is that the music will end, and when it does, you will have no more chances to rise from your seat. Death is not your enemy. Death is your reminder. It is the shadow that sharpens the light. It is the silence that makes the song precious. It is the reason urgency matters. The reason you must stop waiting and start living. So when you hear death whisper, do not tremble. Do not run. Listen. Let it burn the excuses from your lips. Let it tear the chains from your hands. Let it remind you that the stage is yours, but only for a little while. And when the curtain finally falls, let it fall on a life that was fully lived. And so, we return to the beginning. Nobody cares. Not in the way you wish, Not in the way you secretly hope when you lie awake at night, imagining an audience clapping for you, forgiving you, carrying you. Nobody is coming to live your life for you. Nobody is coming to rescue you from yourself. And that is not despair. That is liberation. Because if nobody cares in the way you long for, then you are finally free. Free to live without apology, free to create without permission, free to speak, to act, to stumble, to fall, to rise again, not because the world nods in approval, but because the blood in your veins declares you are alive. The true tragedy is not failure. Failure is noble. Failure is proof that you dared, that you tried, that you touched the edge of your own courage. Failure carries dignity. The tragedy is waiting. Waiting until your bones are dust. Waiting until the stage goes dark. Waiting until the music stops. The tragedy is standing in the shadows, rehearsing your lines while life itself passes by, still asking in a trembling voice, "Will they care? Will they clap? Will they see me?" And death will answer, "No, they were never watching. They were too busy living their own fragile play, and now your chance is gone. So I ask you now with urgency, with fire, with no promise of tomorrow, will you live? Will you dare? Will you dance in the storm? Will you rise and carry your own flame, even when no one is watching? Because nobody cares. And that is your greatest freedom. So do it. Do it for you. Laugh for you, weep for you, fight for you, create for you. Rise for you, burn for you. Because this is your life and no one else will live it. And when the curtain falls, when silence finally swallows the stage, may you leave with no regret. Not because they clapped, not because they cared, but because you lived without waiting. Because nobody cares. And that is why you must.